What's good, y'all? Film coming at you with another movie review, and I'm excited for this one. I'm gonna be talking to you guys about the Odyssey, and holy crap, just to get out the way, this might be my favorite movie of the year. This just might be. I know before I start, I've said it a million times. I'm a Christopher Nolan fan. I just love his movies. I love the way he directs stuff, but this one This one felt different. This one really did. I've seen so many of his movies: Oppenheimer, Tenet, the Dark Knight trilogy, The Prestige, Interstellar, you name it. But there was just something about this story and how he did the Odyssey that I was just impressed with. Obviously, had a huge roster of A-list actors. When I tell you, they had Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon, John Leguizamo, uh, um, there were a lot more. I'm sorry. It's just off the top of my head. John Bernthal, Lupita Nyong'o, like so many good actors in this movie. But I really feel like what stole the show, and I'm not trying to say all of the actors I just said didn't do a good job. It's just that John Leguizamo, out of all those people, he did a very good job. The woman who played Cersei, amazing job. The stinking Odysseus's crew of men on the boat, all of them, especially his right hand man. He did a very good job. I think his name is Hamish Patel. He was incredible. He was probably one of my favorite characters in the movie. Even though sometimes well, you know what? I wasn't mad at him. It's just I could sense where it was going at a certain point, and certain actions I was kind of like, but I was just so impressed with how it went. And even at the start of the movie, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. When it started, I was kind of like, where is this going? Because usually the way it started is not the way Christopher Nolan tends to start his movies. Like, we get a little bit more of a slow, action packed burn. Well, it's not slow, but it's very like interstellar, like The Dark Knight, like, even with Batman Begins, we had a little bit of a good start, but there's always a needle drop that feels like we're starting out slow and we just explode straight into the world that Christopher Nolan's trying to put us into. This one was way different. And I feel like it's because we've seen this tale before. I know with Oppenheimer, and I feel like Oppenheimer was definitely a full inspiration to this one as well, in my opinion. Or I feel like Oppenheimer was the like starter to him making the Odyssey, but the way this movie starts and the way this movie pretty much tells you how it's going to go at the start of it was really good after you think about it. Like at the start of the movie, I was kind of like, what is it trying to tell us? But then when you get to that final act, which I think was incredible, that was one of my favorite final acts of all time. Everything makes so much sense. And this is coming from a dude, and I'm being for real. I've only read a part of the Odyssey. I've never read the whole thing. I've never seen the old movies of the Odyssey, but I've heard of the Odyssey. I've heard what it's basically about. Odysseus trying to go home. That's literally it. And I heard that it's such a great story. But I didn't know it was this great of a story, which was insane to me. Soon, before I get into spoilers, I just, man, I need to watch this movie again. I just want to get out the way. I need to watch this movie again because it was just that good. But I want to get into spoilers. At the start of this movie, you get Travis Scott playing Bard, who is just giving you, and it's not even that long he's in the movie. He's the great start to this movie. He plays a bard or a poet that is um in a rhythm type way, stomping his cane onto a table, and he's telling you what the Odyssey is going to be about. And that's one thing I like about it, because the Odyssey is an old tale. It's Homer's sonnet or whatever it is. It's Homer's story. And everybody knows the Odyssey, but I think the main question is, how are you going to tell the story? How are you going to appeal to people who have probably never read the Odyssey, just like me? And that's what was kind of confusing for a sec when I started it, because I was like, when I heard Travis Scott go, a man, a crew, and all that, I was like, okay, so I'm guessing he's telling what's going on or what the story is, but I don't know. Never read it, but it was a slow burn for a second, but I think that was the whole point of it. And when you go straight through, there's so many different scenes I love, but I just knew this one scene at the start was definitely going to play a key role. And it's the scene where Tom Holland's Telemachus is showing kindness to a person who's obviously not living like they are. He's more poor, he's homeless, and the suitors are inside stinking Odysseus is home. And they're not showing any kindness to a gentleman who just needs some food. And Tom Holland's Telemachus goes straight up to them, and he just tells them, "You're supposed to treat everybody with kindness. Zeus's law." And you hear more of that through the movie with Zeus's law, Zeus's law, Zeus's law. And pretty much what I got from it is treat others the way you want to be treated, or treat strangers with kindness, or treat those who don't have it as well as you with the same kindness you probably want to have treated against you. You know, just something like that. But there was a key thing he said in the middle of that I went, okay, that's going to play a big part. He said that you never know who the gods are. You never know even if a homeless person is a god. And I went, what are you trying to tell me? Remember, I haven't read the Odyssey. I don't know. So I'm just sitting there like, what are you trying to tell me, Tom? You trying to tell me that this is a god? Like for a second, I was thinking that dude was Zeus. But later it plays into that. I'm gonna get to that though. But I love that because that whole thing played into the final act, which was perfect. But I was very in awe of how they started it and how we didn't get a glimpse of Odysseus for a second. I was wondering. I mean, we all knew Matt Damon was playing Odysseus, but I just love how at the start they're telling tales about how great Odysseus is and where he is in this moment. And we're seeing three different points of views from these different from Odysseus' family. With Penelope, played by Anne Hathaway, she is a wife who doesn't know if she should grieve or move on. We got Telemachus, played by Tom Holland. We got a young boy who obviously just wants his father back, but he's trying to keep his household in order. Then we got Odysseus, which I thought was really impressive with Matt Damon's performance. We got a dude who thought that everything he was doing was right, who thought that their way in Ithaca was the right way, was the only way, and that nothing they're doing is wrong. But slowly, more and more, he starts realizing that he might be the villain, that his group of men might be the villains. And then it takes you through the rest of the movie. And I love that. Like all these journeys that they went through. Like I forgot how many stops they took, but all I learned was one thing through this movie. If I ever see a boat or hear a person on the boat say, "My name is Odysseus. This is my boat. Do you want to have a ride on it?" I'm going the hell away. I'm just being for real. If I'm never, ever, 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 ever in my life going anywhere with a person named Odysseus. Spoiler alert. All his men die. All of them. And it was terrible. It was awful. And it's not like they didn't deserve it. I'm gonna be for real. They kind of deserved it, but like, why the heck? Every time they stopped on like anywhere, there was always just somebody dying in a terrible way. And I'm just like, bro, you're just trying to go home. Everybody is trying to go home. Why is this happening? They tell you later on. But I just love that. The first place they stop at when they're trying to go home, they stop at this place to try to get some provisions. They turn out to be, they mention, we're not the sea people, we're just trying to get home, get some provisions, and they get some directions, but the people believe they were sea people. And you hear that when you're wondering, who are the sea people? Or at least I was wondering, who are the sea people? You go on, they go to the next island, they find some sheep. They, right when you see the cave, you're and then everybody's like, wait, don't kill the first sheep or lamb, there's like if there's one lamb, there's a herd. They follow it. You see the cave. Instantly, I went, oh shoot! Don't tell me they go in the cave. Please don't tell me they go in the cave. And they go in the cave, run into the Cyclops. Stuff happens. People die. They move on. Next island they go to, the island of the giants or whatever. That scene was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. That scene, like I know I watched this movie in IMAX, but I really wish I could have experienced that in IMAX, especially some of the boat rides that was going on, but or in 40X. I wish I could have seen it like that, but bro, that giant scene when those giants pulled up, I was like, "Oh, y'all gotta run!" And every time something happened, they were just like, "Run, run!" And man, tell me, I low key think Christopher Nolan watched a lot of Pirates of the Caribbean when he was growing up because there were so many times in those scenes when I thought of Odysseus as Jack Sparrow and his men like his pirate crew or something, like literally verbatim. But it was just so sad and so funny all the time. And after that, they go to another island, and eventually, when they're going from island to island, I start thinking to myself, I low key feel like this is showing more than they think. I feel like they are actually the ones who are the problem because they go to that first island. The Cyclops is chilling. Like, yeah, it's eating some sheep and stuff, but it's not like it's going out across the island like causing mischief, throwing stinking boulders onto other islands. It's just living on its own, eating some sheep, minding its own business. They're the ones who invaded his home. Then you go to the island with giants. Giant kid playing outside, minding his own business. Next thing you know, turns around, sees all those gladiators or Greeks right there in their armor with their swords out, starts screaming. Runs over to his family of giants. Giants go, "What are you doing here? Supposed to be here?" Or they actually didn't say nothing. They just said it's on site. Get off our island. Boom. Then again, they go to another island. They run into, which I think was one of the best scenes in the movie, Cersei, where they go up, you know, want some food, want some water, want some provisions. She tells them, yo, all right, gotta put your stuff outside. No armor, no swords, no weapons inside my house. I'll give you all the food you want. And she turns them into exactly what they are, pigs. But I think the one line that I really liked that made me think like exactly that they're the bad guys, kind of, is when she's explaining to Odysseus why she did what she did. And Odysseus says, well, they just came in peace. They weren't going to do anything. And then she said, like, she accused them of, like, oh, she was saying exactly what other men have done when they've come to her land. And she thought that they were pretty much going to do the same. She thought they were going to be grapists and just murderers. But it kind of it shined a light or a light bulb onto Odysseus when she said that type of thing. Because once again, this is a journey that we're going through when he's rehashing everything in his memories. Like, he's trying to piece together exactly what happened, exactly why did he end up with Calypso on this island that's in the middle of nowhere. And slowly he's starting to realize through these journeys that, hey, there's a bigger issue lying here. And that's what I really liked. But after that event with Cersei, he's told something and goes on, and there's just more epic scenes that come up over and over and over again with on the boat. And there's one that caught me off guard, like hella. It actually startled me. And that's just Zeus's thunder. It just going everywhere while they're on the boat rocking and stuff. And that was just a really great scene. It was really cool. I wish I could have seen it in 40X, but the explanation of why that certain scene happened was very awesome. I kind of expected it. I kind of did because I knew the waters were going to be terrible. I just didn't know the thunder and storm was going to be as bad as it was. But it was just so impressive. And I just love how slowly, once again, Odysseus started realizing that they were in the wrong. And the main reason why they were in the wrong is because of what they did in Troy, which I was just very impressed with. Like I over and over and over again, it was just such a I don't want to say slow build up, but it was just such a good build up. It was a very good build up to see exactly what's wrong with his point of view. And that's the one other crazy thing. I don't even know if he was really that much of a problem. I think it was more of that he has this influence over people, he has this power, he has this strength, and he uses it to be like everyone else. Like the head general in the movie, Agamemnon. I'm sorry, I butchered that name. I don't even know. The aura farming black Greek Roman uh gladiator looking dude. Awesome. His suit of armor was cool. His helmet was cool with that gold spine on the back of it. Like I could tell Odysseus kind of wanted to be just like him. He wanted to work his way up to be like him. But right when we see that scene where pretty much he comes back and he's expected to be showered with praise and riches, it doesn't go well. It doesn't. And I like that that was a connector for us because there were some people, and I know there's a lot of controversial stuff going around and everybody talking crazy about it. I don't care. I'm not trying to put any light into those people's minds or anything, but there was a lot of people on this part saying that his part wasn't really big at all. And I honestly got to disagree because I think his part was the main point of this. It was a mirror for Odysseus. He was the mirror for Odysseus. He was exactly what Odysseus wanted to grow to be, or at least what Odysseus expected to be. He expected to be in of that much power, but fate showed that's not what he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be different, and he realized that, and that's why I love. And here it comes. That's why I loved Zendaya as Athena. Zendaya as Athena was good, and people hating. I mean, she was barely in the movie, but she still had a very impactful part. And I just love how she was the angel on his shoulder trying to show him over and over again what they did wrong. And once again it leads back to Troy. The Troy scene was cool though. Them getting out the horse, them invading Troy, that was cool. And I love how they kept going back to that scene in Troy. They go back to it like it's this the worst thing that has ever happened in history. And when it gets explained why exactly it was the worst thing that happened in their history, it's very well done. Very well done. And I think the part that they play the rest of the scene, because they don't show you the rest of it when it first happens, they don't show you, but later they do. And it hit me. Like it really hit me, not as hard as a truck. I want to say by a like a Mustang or something like that, a fast American muscle car. Hit me like that. Because the way Odysseus explains when he finally realizes how wrong he was, it was so impactful to me because you have the Greek god of wisdom giving you all these bits and pieces, along with all these different islands, along with all these other goddesses and gods, trying to show you what exactly you did wrong in Troy. And when you see his point of view, when you see him walking through Troy after they invade it, after they start killing all these innocent people, after they start destroying all these monuments, and then when you see, spoiler alert, you see that the main person they kill, Zendaya's character, when I don't believe she was a god, maybe it was that Athena was showcasing what exactly was wrong with that image. And right before they kill Zendaya's character, which I thought was very good editing, when they cut Zendaya's head off, and then when they cut the Greek god or the Greek god's monument or whatever, the head of the Greek god's monument off at the same time, I thought was very well done. It showcased everything so perfectly well. But that's why I'm just really drawn to this movie. Like the way they explained like all the literally this was Spider-Man, bro. With great power comes great responsibility. And let me tell you, Odysseus didn't use that responsibility well. Or at least he didn't realize it. Like, he was a truly motivational, inspirational person for his men. And they would go through, well, they literally went through Hades for that dude. But it wasn't it wasn't right. And I love how he realized what they did was wrong. And obviously I can go into like the fight between him and the suitors was insane. Like it was awesome, especially with Lil Wick's soundtrack and stuff. Like it was very good. But I just think the overall journey to see Odysseus learn that what they did was wrong was so good. Like so much better than me. I love that ending act though. I love it. But I was so locked in to the journey of him realizing the sins they caused, the sins they did, and how they, F around you find out. But it was just so good, man. It was so good, so like moving to me. And like I said earlier, I need to see this movie again. I need to. I'm just that I keep thinking about different moments in that film, different key moments as well that were just like, wow. But even the ending, kind of haunting too. It was good the way it ended, and I don't want to spoil that part yet. Like I really don't. I love how we ended with narration, and you still go back to a scene in Troy with the horse toppled over a little bit, and then that's just the end of the movie. That sticks in my head. It still stays in my head. I need that poster. I need it. I'm still debating on which Odyssey poster I'm gonna get. It's either gonna be the stinking one with the head of the Greek god monument on the ground, or it's gonna be the scene where Agamemnon, I think his name is in Hades. I don't know, man. I just that's another thing I want to give credit to Christopher Nolan about. The trailers that he put out for the Odyssey were way better than you guys think. After you watch the Odyssey, watch the trailers again. Watch them again. Maybe the people who read the Odyssey already knew what was going on and knew exactly what moments were, but watching that trailer after seeing the movie, it speaks way more volumes than you think. Like this was an epic movie. I thought it was going to be a different type of epic, but it was so moving and so like it taught such a good lesson that I think was just well done. And the fact that Christopher Nolan was the one who did this movie, he was the perfect guy for this movie. He was perfect. Like, I don't know if I can name any other movie. Like maybe Matt Reeves and him go back and forth with the Batman. I don't know anybody else who can do a better Interstellar. I don't know anybody else who can do a better Tenet or Inception. I don't even know a better person who can do a better Oppenheimer. I just, I don't know. A part of me was wondering Denis Villeneuve what he would do with the Odyssey. Maybe even I don't even know. I can't think of any other director between those two. It's just that they do well with epic, and I can see a little bit of Dune, like that type of Dune feel with the Odyssey. But I'm just impressed, man. I'm impressed. I can't wait to watch this movie again. A part of me wants to just to give like a round two review, but I think I've said everything I kind of want to with this. It was just such a good movie, and if you guys watch it, I would love to hear what you guys think because this is definitely the best movie of the year to me. It's the number one movie to me. I love Project Hail Mary. I think right now Project Hail Mary is number two for me now after the Odyssey, but those movies are definitely the best movies of the year to me. I still have to watch Obsession. I'm gonna give you guys, and along with Spider-Man: Brand New Day, I'm gonna give you guys my top 10 list soon. But for now, at the top at number one, it's gonna be the Odyssey. But anyways, if you guys want to hear my top 10 list right when it comes out, make sure to like, subscribe, and follow Film Pod on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter. Make sure to hit that bell as well. But anyways, I'm your man Film. Make sure to stay safe, take it easy, and peace, y'all.